I am here to share service with you today. I'm so excited. It's a gorgeous day. And, yeah.
We're excited too.
Thank you. So we have this beautiful community of Apple Valley, which just looks glorious today. Got here early. The drive was perfect. So because of the health and safety of our community, that being our highest priority, obviously you guys know that we're requiring you to wear masks at all times in the building unless you're speaking from the platform. We're going to have great music today, which is going to be provided by our music director, Chris Firmston, and myself, the dynamic duo. However, this bums me out. We're not having congregational singing. So, you can hum to yourself and just tap your toes and, of course, dance when we require you to dance, which is, you know. Okay, so let's get ready to stand up, shake off those early morning cobwebs. Here comes Brandy to cheerlead us on. I release, and I let go. Come on. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at her head. But now I can say, if you are discouraged and you're struggling just to make it through another day, you got to let it go. Let it go. Come on, shake it off. Let it go. Let it all inclusive center of love, where we recognize and celebrate each person as a divine and unique expression of the one Spirit in all. So together, we are co-creating a world that works for everyone. We teach and embody the Science of Mind principles to support our core values of love, healing, spiritual growth, oneness, abundance, service, and diversity. Welcome home. Is there anyone here for the first time? Anyone joining us on the spur of the moment? No? Okay. We know that you all know that this is a special place to be on a Sunday morning, and we're just so glad you're here. And those of you online, we love you. Thank you. Thank you for being present with us. We feel you. We include you in our circle here today. So, we have a special class coming up. And before we get to our real announcements, I want to do this one announcement. We're going to do a special class coming up called Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. You guys know this already. Okay, this is great. Facilitated by our own Dr. Sharon Hudson and practitioner Lori Smith. And it's going to be on Zoom. And so everybody should be able to attend. We've got the sign-up sheet in the garden room. It's filling up. It looks great. It's going to be a fabulous class. Breakout rooms, if you've used Zoom before, some time to just get in a smaller group rather than just a giant, everybody all at once. It's wonderful. And this class is accredited. So that means the Centers for Spiritual Living have accredited this class. If you've ever thought about taking that journey towards becoming a practitioner, this counts as an accredited class. So, heck, why not? Let's do it. Okay, so one last announcement. It's a special day here today. We are actually celebrating, without singing, Chris Ermston's birthday, our musical director. I don't think it's right that you play your own birthday song, but, And what I'd like you guys to do, if you're feeling like standing up and just clapping in time with me, you can do that. Or sit down right where you are and just clap like this. We're going to start. I'll sing to Chris. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chris. And go like this. Happy birthday to you. Beautiful. 29 again. Who knew? I would like to now take a moment to welcome our fabulous MC for today, Ms. Eleanor Yule. Is it Yule or Yule? Yule! Eleanor Yule. I've made my first mistake. Here we go.
Hello, I'm Eleanor Yule. I am the treasurer for your board of... Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Eleanor Yule. I'm your treasurer for your board of trustees. And I do want to point out that that really was an important announcement she just made for that class. So that is part of the announcements. But I would also like to invite you to join us every Sunday before the service at 9:30 for a beautiful 15-minute meditation led by our practitioner of the day. Chris Ermston is teaching Tai Chi live here at the center on Tuesdays from 11:30 to 12:30, and this is currently on a love offering basis. Chris has been teaching Tai Chi for over 30 years. Chris, can you please say a few words about your class?
Certainly. I invite everyone to come in and check it out. It's not hard. It requires a little bit of coordination, but we don't get on the floor. We stay standing, and it's very, it's meditative. You're breathing and you're moving, and it is a kind of a spiritual experience if you go there with your brain. So please try it. Check it out.
Thank you. Now, duck race tickets with Joan are back. So I'm supposed to ask Joan to please come up and say something about the updates on the duck race tickets.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Last week, I sold out 30 of the duck race tickets. So I went and got 20 more from the Victor Valley Community Services. So now, when I get these 20 sold, plus those 30, $250 will come to the center. Because the tickets are $10, we get 5, and 5 goes to the community services. So I'll be selling duck race tickets out there after service. So make sure you come and get your winning ticket. The duck race is September 18th, and it coincides with Hesperia Days, and Hesperia Days is going to be one day this year, and that's the 18th. Now, the next surprise I got is that we have always saved tabs from the aluminum cans. And I didn't go down last year, maybe not the year before either. But anyway, the last one that I show here, and there's probably more underneath, we collected 46,890. And this year I went down on Monday, dropped off 71,898. So everybody, please try to save your tabs from your aluminum cans, and we have a container out in the garden room to put them in. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. And I thought I'd add that in addition to that $250 we get from the aluminum, from the cans, or from the duck race, there's also going to be that donation from the winner when one of us wins, and tithes on that winning. So I'm going to look at one of us who's tithing to win that. And that's all of the little things. So anyway, that's just me. Okay, the drum circle is back here at the center. We'll be on September 8th at 7 p.m. Pre-registration is required. There is a sign-up sheet in the garden room, and we are limited to 15 people. And this has to do with COVID-19 spacing stuff. So please sign up in the garden room, or call this week, or we'll have an announcement next week to see if there's any spaces left by then. But sign up soon, because it fills up fast. Okay, our office and bookstore hours are Monday and Tuesday 9 to 1, Wednesday 9 to noon, and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Our women's group, our Sister Circle, led by Reverend Karen, gathers on Zoom every 2 weeks and Saturday, and yesterday we had a wonderful gathering. Our next meeting will be Saturday, September 11th at 11:30 a.m. And see Reverend Karen to make sure you get a link to the Zoom, to our Zoom room. Okay. Every Sunday we share the vision for our new minister. We have a few copies of our vision left on the concierge table. If you have not gotten one, please grab one, because we ask you to hold this vision with us throughout the week. So, our vision for our new minister. Our purpose is unity. Our vision for our center is to be a dynamic teaching center for people of all ages, where we learn to experience the Spirit within us and to express our fullest potential in life. Our new minister is comfortable with shared leadership, accessible to our community, has humor, tact, and is kind. Our new minister is intelligent, a fine teacher of science of mind, an inspired speaker, and feeds us spiritually. Our new minister lives the science of mind with integrity, has a consciousness of abundance, is authentic and unbiased. And our new minister is enthusiastic, all while being emotionally mature, committed, and connected to our community, and is wise in all of their affairs. That we would like you to hold with us for until we get our new minister. So please join us in that. And now I would like to welcome our practitioner of the day, Lori Smith.
Thank you, and I would just like to acknowledge Janet Amby, who is the leader of the drum circle. Janet, please stand. Thank you, Janet. All right, so here I am. Okay, so I invite you to please stand if you choose to and join me as we read Dr. Ernest Holmes' promises together. They are on the front page of your program. And here we go. I keep the promise that I have made myself to affirm in this moment that I am abundant, healthy, strong, and happy. I keep the intention to daily speak this truth to my inner soul, telling it that it is wonderful and marvelous, that it is one with the great cause of life, truth, power, and action. I whisper these things into my soul until it breaks forth into songs of joy with the realization of its limitless possibilities. I assure my soul. You may be seated.
Wonderful. So that sets us up now for sinking even deeper within. Just connecting to that essence of who we really, really are. Remembering that we are all our spirit. We're all one. So let's just take a few moments as Chris and I sing, I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am deep breath in.
Please join me in reading the community affirmation, which is in your program as you open it on the left side. We'll read this together. I believe in one power, one living spirit, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. I believe that spirit expresses through me and is the unity of all life. I believe that all thought is creative and that how I choose to think creates my personal experience. We will now have a musical meditation on the Ho'opono prayer. The words are, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. This powerful forgiveness practice, which you can use in your everyday life, even if you feel you have no one in your past or present that you need to forgive, you can use this prayer to help you clear away any judgments or negative ideas about yourself or others.
I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. We are responsible for what we see. Healing ourselves will heal the world. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. We are responsible for what we see. Healing ourselves will heal the world. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you.
And now is our time of lighting the flames of faith, and I invite Emily Caruth to join us to light the flames. We perform this ceremony on Sunday to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. The unity candle represents the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the first candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the second candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the third candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle, honoring all forms of New Thought, embracing the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principle. We light the 10th candle for inclusivity, affirming that all are welcome here. And as Emily lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light names of loved ones, knowing that they have the experience of Spirit's eternal love. And I invite you at this time to simply close your eyes as we move within. In this moment, there is only one. This one life. This life is God's life. This life is perfect. And this life is our life now. And in this life, we are aware of the all-inclusiveness of love. Love is calling. Love is calling us to greater awareness of the truth of our being. We are the gift. And we are in this place of self-discovery, of renewal, of knowing and remembering this wholeness, this beingness, this life of God, expressing it as us, each and every day, in each and every moment. And I bless this service. I bless all who made it possible. I bless your board, your practitioners, all those in service, for discovering ourselves serves others. Let us just give thanks. Giving thanks for Reverend Karen and her message today. We are so blessed. And I release this word into the law that always responds. I am grateful and thankful. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Lori. That was a beautiful prayer. Wow.
Yes.
Got to get my feet solidly back on the ground again here, okay? So, I'm going to sing a little song for you that my friend Daniel Nahmad wrote, and he wrote it several years ago when I'd asked him to produce my first CD for New Thought Music, and he gave me this song to record first before he ever recorded it. So it's really special for me, and it goes with our theme today, so I hope you enjoy it. It's called Here Goes Nothing. and everything seems to turn out right. So when my mind needs something to do, wants to know the future, I whisper this: I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. So here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. Oh, but I'm not afraid this time. Now some say it's crazy, some say naive to close my eyes and just take that leap. But I know better, 'cause I believe even in the dark my soul can see. So when my mind plays its usual games, oh, my answer is always the same. Here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. Oh, but I'm not afraid this time. Here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. Oh, but I'm not afraid this time. No, I'm not afraid this time. I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Ooh, that song gets me.
My mask is soaked.
We're weeping into our masks over here, Daniel Lamont. Oh my goodness. All right. So I'm so grateful to be here with you this morning. And I'm actually using our own High Desert Center gizmo. I didn't even have to bring my own gizmo, so this is fantastic. It all works great. All right, so we are going to start off with me catching up with you just a little bit. So last time I was here, I brought my giant gong. I don't know if you remember that. It was quite something. I couldn't have gone for a small gong. I had to go for the giant gong. So my husband just had back surgery last week, and he's in recovery. He can't, do anything yet. So he can lie down, and he can stand up. That's pretty much it. He's doing great, though. And thank you for all your prayers. Oh my gosh, we have this practitioner team and Dr. Sharon and all of you who have been sending my husband such great energy, and it's worked. He's doing great. But obviously, he's not with me bringing the gong today, so we're not doing the gong today. But by next time, let's affirm he's able to schlep the gong. Okay. We have the great Sunday service team, which tries to get together. We do get together every week, actually, on Monday, the day after service. So if you at home are watching and you say, that looked a little funnier, or I'd like something else to happen, let us know. I am totally open to suggestions. This is your service, okay? And we are here to serve you. So let us know what you think. If you're liking it, say that too. Yeah, it looks good, sounds good, whatever. So that would be great. Get some feedback. And as Eleanor mentioned, we did have our women's group yesterday, which is the Sister Circle. If you have not thought about signing on for a Zoom, it's about an hour long. And what is said in the circle stays in the circle. It's a safe place for us as women, goddesses, to just share about what's going on in our lives and support each other through prayer and really deep listening and understanding. And we do community service activities as well. We're coordinating, giving donations, and making baby blankets and reading books and things like that. So think about joining the Sister Circle. No pressure. I'd really like to see you there. All right, August. Do we have my slides? Do I have to do something? This is my question to you.
This way.
This way. Thank you. The gizmo is great. It's the woman working it that has not quite figured it out. Okay. So this is August, guys. This is the end of August. Ooh, 5 weeks of August. This is week 5. Our theme for August has been a pause for guidance. And week 5 itself has its own theme, which is rise and re-emerge. How many of us are ready to do that about now? Right? Okay. So I have a little story to tell you about a couple of religious science practitioners, Bob and Earl. And it's not Bob that's here that I just met this morning. Don't confuse Bob with this Bob. This is not him. Okay. These guys went to practitioner training together. They lived in Los Angeles. They would go to a Dodger game every chance they got. Baseball was their passion. When Emma Curtis Hopkins says, "My good is my God is my good," their good was baseball. They loved baseball. So Bob and Earl would get together and go to as many games as they possibly could. Then they'd hang out afterwards and talk about the game. Then they'd talk about the games that are coming up. Okay, you get the idea. Baseball was their thing. Okay. The main thing as religious science practitioners that they were wondering about, though, which they sat up many a late night talking about, is there baseball in heaven? Now, you can take the word baseball and substitute golf, okay, if that's your thing. Is there golf in heaven? Is there tennis in heaven? Is there singing in heaven? Is there whatever you're passionate about? But these two guys were obsessed with the idea of wondering, is there baseball in heaven? Frank would say, is there a sailboat in heaven? So they talked about it and they made a pact together. You know what that is. They made a solemn agreement together, okay. And they were getting up in years by this time. They were, I would say, well into their 90s. Let's say that. And they made a pact together. They said, you know what, whichever one of us dies first, okay, come back, haunt me, and just tell me, is there baseball in heaven? That's the one thing I want to know. I don't want to know anything else about heaven. You can surprise me. But just tell me, is there baseball in heaven? So, a couple of weeks later, Bob passes away. And Earl is devastated. He's just, oh my gosh, my best friend, my baseball friend. But part of him is kind of excited because he thinks he's going to finally know, is there baseball in heaven? So, a couple of weeks after Bob's funeral, celebration of life, it was beautiful. Lots of ministers and practitioners were there. And Earl is lying in bed. It's about midnight. The clock strikes midnight. And Earl sits straight up in bed. He thought he heard a sound. Earl. Bob, is that you? Earl, it's me, Bob. I didn't want to scare you, so I just whispered. Okay, talk out loud. I want to talk to you. Talk to you, Bob. So Earl is very excited because Bob has kept his pact. He's visited him. Oh, Bob, I'm so glad you're here. Can you please answer my question? Sorry you died, but answer my question. Is there baseball in heaven? And Bob says, you know, Earl, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. And Earl's like, oh, I can't take any bad news. Give me the good news first. So Bob says, Earl, there is baseball in heaven. And Earl was just, oh, I'm so excited, yes. Well, what's the bad news? You're pitching tomorrow night. Oh, Bob and Earl, the wacky guys. So, talk about death and reemergence, you know. We've really been going through it as far as COVID and restrictions, and we're living it now. We don't know what it's going to do in the future. It's kind of up in the air, right? So all we can do is try to stay with our principles of knowing that behind all this stuff, there is actual principle, that is a law of the universe, that is spirit, that is the divine, saying that no matter what everything is going on now that seems bad, there's always a good behind it for our ultimate good eventually. We may not see it right in this second. We learn to look for it. Now, thinking about re-emerging and rising. You know, in the Christian tradition, Jesus was crucified and rose from the dead. A lot of people get stuck on the crucifixion part. And I was listening to Dr. Mark Vieira last week when I was singing at the North Hollywood Center for Spiritual Living. And the thing is, you know, the point of the crucifixion, the point of the death, the point of the suffering, the point of that was not just to suffer and be dead and be in a tomb. The point was the re-emerging. The point was the rising up. The point was that life is eternal. So what areas in our life are we focusing on our crucifixions? We're focusing on where we have let a part of us die, where we've let a part of us fall away. This is our time to rise up and re-emerge as our true selves, as our spirit selves. So the story of Jesus, whether you believe it, don't believe it, the point of the allegorical story is that there was a rising up. There was a continuation of life, despite death. That's what we're here to remember today in this rise up and re-emerge. We talk about butterflies going into a cocoon. The butterfly doesn't stay in the cocoon. The whole point of the cocoon is that the shape and the chemistry and the actual physical makeup of that caterpillar absolutely changes into a butterfly and emerges. So this is a message of hope. This is a message of renewal. This is a message of wherever we are right now, no matter how bad something may look in our lives, we can choose to rise and re-emerge. And that's what we're talking about today. So, I did that. I'm starting with a backronym at the frontonym. Okay, so this is... because really, really it's important for us to just go through these 4 steps of how in the heck are we going to rise up and re-emerge using the teachings of this philosophy, this science, okay? This is how we're going to do it. It involves these things right here on your screens. Restoration, integration, self-care, and then the eventual evolution. That's the re-emerging. So, let's take it one at a time. Restoration. Some of you may have these in your driveway or garage, or know people who do. When we talk about restoration, a lot of the times we're talking about like restoring it to its former condition, right? You can see this car was, not taken care of. Sometimes we don't take care of ourselves and we try to restore ourselves to our former condition. The truth is, spiritually, we have bodies, we have a chassis, if you will, but we are not our chassis. We are not our body, right? We are beyond that. But when we're talking about restoring cars, this is kind of what we're talking about. Kind of bringing back a luster, right? When we talk about artwork, look at the amazing things they can do with artwork by taking off those old layers of gunk and years of, veneers and painting over, and they can make an old painting look really gorgeous again. And then there is the kind of biblical meaning of restoration, which is kind of interesting, where they talk about in the Bible God restoring us better than we ever were before through the grace of God, which we know is just the good nature of spirit giving to itself. So better than ever, better than we ever were. So we don't just get to be restored to like pretty good. We get to be restored to better than we ever were. So even when all has been lost, all is improved beyond measure. So whatever we could imagine, it's beyond that. It's beyond that restoration. So the trick is when our bodies are sick, when our finances are sick, when our relationships are sick, when our careers are not happening, we're laid off, we tend to think that that is a way of being that relates to, okay, well, I used to have a job, so now I just need another job. Well, I used to have a relationship, now I need another relationship. The thing that we need to go deeper on here in this philosophy is that Spirit, in restoring us, actually restores us to the actual divine idea of who we are and who we came to be. That idea, not this stuff. It's inner work that we're talking about here. It's the inner work. So remembering, when people ask you, hey, how you doing? I'm not great. I wish I was perfect, but I'm not perfect. In a big, deeper sense, you actually are perfect. You were created perfect. God doesn't know anything else but perfect. We live in a material world. We get wrinkles, we get old, we get sick. Sometimes that happens. Does that mean that God's not there? No. Does that mean that Spirit is not actually right inside where we are the whole time at our essence? Spirit is. We forget. How many of you forget that you're made of spirit? Oh, you guys are good. Nobody forgets they're made of okay. I'll just trust that you're telling the truth. Okay. So restoration. Take a look at your life as it is now. What do you want to restore and have it be even better than it was before you feel like it kind of went south, went downhill? And then treat for that. Or call a practitioner or a minister, and they'll know the truth for you. Second step, integration. So, integration is a great word. The root of it is, of course, based in the word integrity. What is integrity? We're asking for integrity from our new minister. What does that mean? That means walking the talk. That means living your belief. That doesn't mean just talking about it on Sunday and going away and, not behaving in a way that serves yourself or humanity. It's a way of life all the time. You don't get to take off your minister hat when you go to Trader Joe's and you're waiting in line and you're, let's do it. We don't get to do that if we choose integrity in all our affairs. And we deserve nothing less than that. We deserve all these fabulous qualities from a new minister. That's what we're equal to. That's what we are equal to energetically here at the High Desert Center. So I'm knowing that all of those things, all of those divine qualities, intelligence, kindness, a good teacher, living the truth, living the principles, Just know that each of us is equal to that. And that's what we are calling forth for our new minister right here. Can I get a yeah? Okay. That's what we are calling forth. Integration means all of it. The good, the bad, the ugly, because it's all good. When we look in the mirror, we tend to see, part of me is pretty good. Like today, okay, I kind of like my lipstick, but I don't really like my hair, or I don't really like the way I spoke to that person yesterday, or I don't really like the way I spoke to my pet. I don't really like the way I was impatient yesterday. So that part of me, I don't want that part of me. I'm just going to take the parts that I think are good. Integration is all of it, everything. Accepting and loving ourselves exactly the way we show up, and starting from there. Can't go by without some Ernest Holmes quotes. He's the founder of the Science of Mind, and he has a lot of great things to say. There is something within you that sings the song of eternity. Listen to it. That voice of Bob was talking to Earl was really the voice of the divine, saying, yes, there is baseball in heaven. There's everything you want in eternal life. Just choose it. But you're going to go through some transformation. So that's integration, the song of eternity, listening to it. We all know that integrating body, mind, and spirit is what gives us balance. We talk a lot about, in this philosophy, the four legs of a table. That life is a lot like four legs of a table. One leg being the leg that represents abundance in our lives. Another leg of the table representing health. Another leg of the table representing right relationships, healthy relationships. And then the fourth leg of the table is divine creative expression. We read earlier that what we believe here is that we are a divine, unique expression of the One. Be unique. Be unusual. Be the most unusual version of God you've ever seen. Do your thing. And that is actually living a full life. Body, mind, and spirit. So, how many of you feel like you're maybe standing a little bit on some 2 or 3 table legs right now? Yeah. Sometimes one leg is just shorter than the other, is what I find out. And then I'm just kind of like, when you go to a restaurant, and then I have to put the napkin under the one short leg just so it won't make me crazy while I'm trying to eat. When we used to go to restaurants, which we will again. Yeah, sometimes we're standing on one leg, which can be challenging. Getting back to balance of mind, body, and spirit, which harkens back to integration. Integrate it all. Integrate it all. And by doing that work comes the restoration to even better than you were before. More at ease with yourself, more in love with yourself. Wholeness will be restored. Wholeness is really the interpretation of integrity that I really like the best, is wholeness. Nothing's missing. Everything's there that needs to be there. Wholeness is who we are. So, I love this little guy. Do you ever see those dogs where their tongue is just kind of sticking out all the time and very adorable? We get to move on to the letter S for self-care. This is a tough one for some of us who are recovering people pleasers or caregivers. Sometimes we take care of others before ourselves. That's been my journey. I've been studying and learning about self-care versus selflessly caring for other people first. and knowing that there is a balance there. I used to hear the story about cutting up your pie to serve the pie, and instead of serving out all the pie and saying, well, now there's none left for me, you cut up your pie, you take out your piece, put it over there, then you give the rest of the pie. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So we can't give what we don't have. And if we're depleted and we're running on empty, and we're running around taking care of everything and everyone else and putting ourselves at the bottom of the list, I don't know. I don't treat my kids that way. I wouldn't want to treat God that way. But sometimes I treat myself that way. Why is that? So I am coming out of a long period of caring for my mother. And it wasn't like she was living with me and I got to just be with her. She had her own house, lived by herself, stairs, everything, health issues, heart problems, all sorts of stuff, refused to not live alone and really was not eating well and was not taking her medicine. It was time. So 5 years ago or so, I started slowly, gradually taking on more of my mom's life. Paying her bills, getting her food, making sure she ate the food, making sure her medicine was done, taking her to her doctor appointments. And I'm so grateful to have had that time with my mom. And at the same time, the balancing act was really tough. I don't know if any of you can relate to that. It was a tough balancing act. At the end of the day, I was always last. I didn't get myself taken care of. I didn't get my doctor appointment. I went for about 4 years without getting any doctor appointments that I was supposed to, I just kept going and going and going and going and going for other people. So the blessing was, and it sounds very strange to say, but it goes to what we were talking about earlier about integration, the good, the bad, the ugly. My mom had a stroke at her own house by herself last September. And I only knew that she had a stroke because I called her up just to check on her one more time. Because we lived about 15 minutes away from each other. And when she answered the phone, she couldn't speak normally. She had had a stroke. I knew right away. So we got the ambulance, and from then on, she never went back to her house. And she now is living the life that I am so grateful that she's living now. When she was alone, no friends, no contact with anyone but me, no social life, not happy, depressed. She's in a beautiful apartment, assisted living. She recovered from her stroke beautifully. She has a boyfriend. Seriously, Mom! And there were like 3 guys fighting over her. Oh, I'm going to have dinner with Joan tonight. She had her pick. She lost part of her memory, which I think was part of her memory that was her damaged childhood. And she is happier, she's more vibrant, she's positive. She actually complimented me, which would never happen before, ever. So I would just say, out of the seemingly bad, she was actually restored by the grace of Spirit. She was restored to being even better than she was before she had a stroke. And I've been doing my doctor appointments, and I've been taking care of myself. Now I'm taking care of my husband. No, he's a lot easier than my mom was, and we're in the same house, which is grand. So self-care is never a selfish act. It is simply good stewardship of the only gift I have, the gift I was put on earth to offer others. It's not selfish, but it is serving ourselves. It is caring for ourselves and loving ourselves. That's what it's about. I love Wayne Dyer. He was my first introduction into New Thought thinking at all in like the 70s or 80s. In every moment of your life, You have the option to choose peace for yourself. There's so much going on around the world right now, and so much just going on even with our own families, in our own family units. You know, depression, anxiety, upset, even the way people drive. And I think I mentioned it last time too, because the trip here last time was a bit difficult. And this morning we just sailed right up from La Crescenta, which is a couple hours. We sailed right up. It was beautiful. But people are going very fast. Very, very fast. Faster than they ever did before. And I can choose to go, oh my gosh, or I can choose to have peace in that moment. Being in grief and upset about the situations in the world does not help the situations in the world. It adds to the grief and the upset. I'm going to say that one more time because it's hard to wrap our minds around that. Being in grief and upset at these situations in the world does not actually help the situations of the world. It adds to the grief and to the upset. You hear me on that one? Yeah?
Yes.
Be part of the peace. Be part of the energy of love. People get upset on social media. I'm sending my prayers. Well, that does nothing. You know, I hear a lot of that on social media. Love and prayers. And then, well, what good does that do? I'll tell you what good that does. What we teach here is that there's one mind. One mind, one consciousness, one life. Am I going to add to that life with my energy and my positive prayers, knowing that God is in the midst of everything? Or am I going to allow myself to crawl into that tomb, crawl into that crucifixion, and not come out? We have the choice, and we have the tools, and we have classes and books and all of that, and practitioners and ministers. If you're wondering, how in the heck am I going to do that? We will help you. We are here for you to get to that place where you can say, I'm not going to add to the despair of the world. I'm going to add to the love of the world. And we don't just sit in our room and pray. We treat and move our feet. We take action. We give. We do whatever we can. Yes, it's not about just cloistering away. We could cloister away like a monk. They're adding to the love of the world too. But if you feel like you have to take some action, take some action. Prayer treatment is action. It's moving thought into form. It's moving energy for a purpose. That's what we do here. How many of you did not know that that's what we do here? That's what we do here, yeah? It's pretty awesome. So, make time for self-care. This is my lesson to myself, preaching to the choir, which used to be there, which will be back again. I am knowing. Schedule it. Schedule a date with yourself. That sounds weird, but do it. Schedule it. I've learned this. Schedule your time before anything else comes up. If I get out of bed and start cleaning the kitchen and making everybody coffee and going off and doing my work, before you know it, it's like 5 o'clock. Geesh, now I gotta make dinner. Now I gotta do this, and I haven't meditated yet. I haven't prayed yet. I haven't got myself centered yet. Take that time. Make that time. Set an alarm. You all got smartphones or alarms or clocks. Set an alarm. There's a cool app on your phone that's like a little ding of like a chime that goes off when it's time to stop and do a breathing exercise for a minute. You can do that for yourself. That really helps. When I'm caught up in a bunch of stuff, ding! Oh, okay. All is well, all is well, all is well. Okay, I'm centered. We can try that. Little things like that you can try. Evolution. This is the final, R-I-S-E. We're rising up. Evolution. Evolution is always what's happening. It's always happening everywhere. I have a strange theory. It's really brief. A little theory about bugs. I've been bothered by bugs since I was a child. I used to, spray them with stuff. And they seemed kind of stupid. They didn't really like react. I would walk up to them. They'd just be sitting there, and I would just kill them, which was not Zen at all. Now we take them outside if we can't take them outside. But they weren't aware of me, it seemed, and they weren't moving out of the way. They just sat there. Has anyone else noticed that bugs are like smarter now? Is it just me? They seem to see me and go, ah, and then they, like they never noticed me before. I don't know. That's my strange bug theory, but it's not science mind-based. It's my own theory. But we're talking about evolution, not just of our species, or, people are born without wisdom teeth now because we don't need them. That's a kind of evolution. We're talking about the evolution of consciousness. So, the only way we can move thought into form and change our conditions is by changing what's inside and how we think about it. That's why this class that's coming up is so amazing. Change your thinking, change your life. You cannot not change your life if you change your thinking. It cannot not happen. It has to happen. It works. It just does. When you change how you think about something, that thing changes. And then your experience of it changes. You are that powerful. You can do this. Make your life better and the life of the world better. So, that went like 4 things too fast. Okay, I'm going to go with Michael Bernard Beckwith, founder of Agape Spiritual Centers. Spiritual awakening is a journey of the heart. Every person's heart is a flame to know its true nature, to commune with its source. And this harkens back to what Dr. Sharon said last week about that guard on the top of the tower, remember? Talking to that guy who was down below. Hey, who are you? What are you doing here? And the guy down below, can I hire you to tell me that like every day so that I remembered who I am and what I'm doing here? Thank you, Dr. Sharon, for sharing that last week, because that really relates to this. We have this thing in us that wants to know who we are and what we're doing here. So we do this inner work. That's what we do. We figure ourselves out. And the point is, who we are is love. And what we're doing here is to love. That's why we're here. I love Brene Brown. I mean, I could just watch her all day long. And the thing, yesterday's Sister Circle, we never tell what happens in the circle. It's a confidential space. And I am just so honored to be in a group with these courageous, vulnerable, intelligent, wise women. Courage is contagious. Rising strong changes not just you, but also the people around you. This is part of the solution, not part of the problem. When we find our courage and we rise strong, it's like a ripple in a pond. We are that stone that's causing those ripples, and it just spreads around everywhere beyond where we can see. So in the 12-step programs, they talk about God as just being a higher power, which that's it. It could be nature, it could be anything that they decide is a higher power. And the thing is, you got to know in life what's mine to do and what's not mine to do. So I love the Serenity Prayer, and I don't know if any of you know the Serenity Prayer, but basically you're talking about, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. What are those things? Other people, places, and things. Sorry, all y'all who want to change your neighbor out for somebody else, or make them different, or, make it cooler in Apple Valley. I don't know. But these things are out of our control. There are some things that are laws of the universe that are just... The only thing we can change is what? Yeah. That's our job. That's why in this science, we don't get to blame anybody, which is frustrating. But we don't get to blame anybody else. We get to do it ourselves. The serenity to accept the things I cannot change. The courage to change the things I can ourselves. And the wisdom to know the difference That's our connection with the divine. That's our GPS. That's our God-powered system. That's what we listen to. That's what we attune to. That's our divine inner nature. That still small voice within that says, hey, I think it's time to write another song. Hey. And we listen to it. We learn to listen to it. And that's the wisdom to know the difference between what's mine to do and what's anyone else's to do, so that I can rise up and re-emerge out of my depression, my funk, my unemployedness, my fear. Rise up better than I was before. How does that sound?
Fantastic. At 11:11, by the way.
Great. Oh, great. So that's what I would say to you for today. I would just say, let's rise up together and let us change the way we see our world, and the world, the way we see it, will change. Namaste. Blessings to you all. Thank you for being here with us this morning. We're going to continue our service with our giving time now. Ooh, so take a deep breath with me. Just release that out. Let go of whatever tomb you are in. Re-emerge, restored, renewed, refreshed, committed to love, from a place of love. So this is our time of giving. Please take a moment to just join me in appreciation for this community and all who do service here. I see everyone doing service here, and it doesn't happen just on Sunday. It's 7 days a week. There's so many beautiful people out here giving service so that we can actually have a beautiful gathering together. So grateful for all who do service here. We know that we live in an abundant universe. We know that there's always more than enough to share and to spare. And we know to cut our piece of pie and put it aside before we give, and give from our overflow. So we use this time to open up the flow of abundance, and we circulate that energy of abundance with great, great gratitude. So for now, we're not passing baskets around. There is a basket in the aisle at the rear of the sanctuary, and you can just drop your contribution in there. If you've been spiritually fed today, if you heard anything that resonated with you today, and you want to keep that going, contribute to this beautiful center. It's here for everyone. So we make it easy for you to contribute. If you don't contribute today, which many people don't handle money at this point, they're not doing any of that, you can use the Give Plus app on your smartphone. That's what I do. Automatically, bing, just gets sucked out every week. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about it. You can visit our website, highdesertcsl.org, hi-desert. Took me a while to find that a few years ago. I was like, what the heck? Where is it? hi-desertcsl.org. And you can scroll down and click on that donate button. So let's read together out loud our declaration of affirmative giving, which is located on the inside of your program on the left-hand side. I'll give you a second to get to that part of your program, and we'll read it together. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of this spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. Joy. Joy is my source. divine is our source, and we take a moment to just bless the gifts today. And for me, the gift of your presence is absolutely amazing. And I'm just so touched by you being here, and you online as well. Knowing that these gifts go forth, touching lives in our community and around the world, bringing healing and wholeness to our world and returning to us. So now I'd like to invite the practitioners up on stage with me. You know, we use the word practitioner a lot, and some of you may not know what in the world is a practitioner. These are specially trained people who have studied multiple classes and passed tests and been reviewed, and they actually have a license to pray for you and know the truth for you. That is powerful. So these people have been through a lot of education and a lot of science of mind classes, which you can start in September. And they really know their stuff. So if you have something going on in your life, one of these conditions we talked about today on the 4 table legs, right? Anything going on, these practitioners are here to know the truth for you. That's their job. That's what they're here to do. Okay? That's part of our community. So take advantage of that. There's also a prayer box in the garden room. Yes, garden room. Prayer box is in the garden room. So if you want to just need prayer for something, put it in the box. That gets sent out to our practitioners. We all pray. So it's powerful. All right? So let's see. Lori, I would like you to lead us in reading our affirmation of the day. And there she is.
And it's up there on the screen or in your program. Let's read that right now. Today I re-emerge fully nourished, restored, and renewed. Let's say that again. Today I re-emerge fully nourished, restored, and renewed.
Okay, I thought we were going to do one more time. I was getting ready to do my big voice. Okay, anyway. All right, thank you to everyone who is here again and everybody online. You know that you can come right back to this center next Sunday. We've got our beautiful meditation at 9:30. Those of you who are on HDCSL Live, which is our YouTube channel, it's 10 o'clock. So we look forward to seeing you then. And I'm going to just pray us out briefly here, just blessing all of us, knowing that as we go forth from our beautiful gathering today, remembering who we are, remembering that all is well. Whatever the appearance, Spirit is there. Love is there. And we are channels for that love. And we go out into the world this week and we bless everyone that we come in contact with that amazing love that just shines through us like a hollow bone shining through us. So I bless you and I wish you a beautiful week. Rise, re-emerge, renew, integrate, self-care. We are all evolving together. Namaste.
Anything
Thank